Hello, hello, Restore Beauties. This is Sherry C. White, certified holistic health strategist and educator wellness coach. Let's go. I'm so excited about this series, Enlarging Your Capacity. But first, I need to let you know that my mission as a strategist and coach is to elevate your life, wellness, and confidence in God, to co-write your comeback story. So I primarily love to work with exhausted educators, okay? And when I'm talking about enlarging your capacity, the focus, and it primarily always will be, is you, not your environment, not the workplace, not your coworkers. Those are a different set of things. But we're gonna focus on and love and nourish you. I believe that not enough people know how to manage, nourish, love on themselves. So this is what Champ Restoration is all about, is basically how to maximize you. And so as an educator, you're always giving and giving and giving. And I love to do it. I'm doing it now in a different capacity, but I have learned lots of lessons along the way. And so I'm here to share some. And again, enlarging your capacity is so necessary. This is the holiday season. Again, from this end of Thanksgiving to the beginning of January, I will be continuously talking on Sundays about a different topic related to enlarging your capacity. So let's go. So capacity, I'm going to first define it, looking at my notes, and then we're just going to talk. We're just going to talk. And I want you to talk back to me in the comment section to get a discussion going on. So capacity. First, let's define what it is. It's something that is necessary, I tell you that. It's the ability to do something. The ability to do something. It's a mental, emotional, and physical ability. This is how it's defined. And I would also agree, you also have to have a spiritual capacity, dexterity. We'll get into that. So as a teacher in this pandemic season, there is nothing like it. You know, you're wearing masks. You can't, at the beginning of the year, can't really hear students' correct pronunciations. I'm not trying to disrespect them. That's a whole thing. When I'm teaching, when students are explaining and they're teaching in their groups, can't really hear them. So you're asking folks to repeat themselves several times. Who else has had this experience? If you understand, listen, let me know. And then you open the windows because you want the air to flow and it's cold. So if you understand that, throw a snowflake in the comment section because it is cold in the classroom. You got to wear layers, all of that. I say that to say it is not an ideal setting and an ideal environment for you to teach in comfort. So right here, again, focusing on how can you build and nurture yourself in these conditions where it's not ideal. Let's go. So in order to maintain, in order to keep going in an amazing way, you have to know your why. So you have to have an awareness of your why, right? Many people's whys are completely different, right? It could be, I've always wanted to be a teacher since I was a kid. It could have been, in my case, after a second career, after me visiting another country and having experiences. It could be something completely different, like I want to help to put a dent in the prison to pipeline system, you know, something real deep like that. That was also my reason. But you know, at the end of the day, you have to know your why, because you have to know the condition. And let me explain a little bit. So you have your why, you know your reason, you're thinking about it right now. And my question is, with this passion, with this clear-cut understanding of why you serve, my question is, how do you serve? Now that you know why you serve, how do you serve? From what position are you serving? So what I'm saying is, are you serving from a position of power, or are you serving from a position of being pitiful? Okay? Hoping to give love with hopes in return to receive love. That's pitiful. And you know, I'm just being honest, and we have to be able to just assess ourselves and to be clear with ourselves. That's the only way we're going to move forward and gain quality capacity. So the healthiest position is to be in overflowing of love. And you give expecting nothing back in return. But this, you don't just show up on the scene like this. This takes a lot of work, maintenance, preparation, and continuous maintenance to be able to be in this position. Look, I am going to say this, and I wonder how you feel about this. But I do believe, and I'm very convinced, that if we had more capacity, that if many of us, not all of us, if many of us had more capacity, let me be real, if many of you all had capacity, more capacity, I believe that it would lead to more burnout because the management is not there. It's not just the management, it's a matter of wisdom. It's a matter of understanding yourself. It's a matter of understanding your responsibilities outside the classroom. It's a matter of identity and management. So I believe that this is why many of us are, me in the past, have had a capacity issue, whether it be an issue with identity, whether it be lacking wisdom, whether it be lacking an understanding of boundaries, what to say no to, what to say yes to. It's a lot with understanding, or just straight up management, right? I can give you things to do, but we have to unpack and we have to be aware of how we're serving, why we're serving, things like this. And I want to say there's always something to do in education. So you could be going on and on and on in a hamster wheel, really getting, I guess you could say, getting lots of things accomplished, but your life is not your job. Your life is not your job. So you're going to go on and on and on. And yes, it's one of those jobs. It's one of those careers. It's one of those callings, if you will, where, you're helping society and mankind and all that. But you and I are not God. You and I are not Holy Spirit Jr. at all. So what we have to do is get in a position where we hear God and we ask for wisdom, okay? And he tells us what exactly the assignment is, what exactly the limit is in terms of what to do here. Nothing more, nothing less. We follow the instructions. For example, James 1:5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Yes, thank God for God's love and his patience and his wisdom and his willingness to help mold us, okay, like clay. Another thing is, just in general, overall, we need to come to a place where we're yielded to God, surrendered to God. It's a beautiful thing, okay? We're continuously on our own type of time, meaning we're doing what we want to do because we think that it is best. We think it is wise. That is like the opposite of Proverbs 3:5-7. Okay, we can't be impressed with our own wisdom. We can't be impressed with our own reasoning why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, that could be the beginning, but as we grow and as we mature, again, we talked about capacity. Remember, I said it's the ability to do something, a mental, emotional, and physical ability. And then I also said it has a lot to do with the spiritual ability, meaning the spiritual capacity. And as we recognize and yield to God, we could grow in that. And he renews us. He renews our mind and our thinking. Okay, the last thing I'm going to leave you with, because capacity, again, this is just the kickoff for the series. Capacity is something that we cannot enlarge on our own. That would be my thesis. We need guidance and wisdom from God to be able to have enlarged capacity. All right. And then we have a renewed mind about what to do and what not to do. So I'll leave you with this. But first and most importantly, seek. Seek is to strive for, right? It's to aim at, right? His kingdom and his righteousness. That is his way of doing things, of his way of being right, the attitude of God, the character of God. So when we first and most importantly seek his kingdom and his righteousness, and all of these things, the character, the attitude of God, the wisdom, and so much more will be given to us also. So I leave you with that, and that is Matthew 6:33. I leave you with that to meditate on those scriptures, James 1:5, and Matthew 6:33, and Proverbs 3:5-7. I leave you to meditate on that, chew on that all Monday morning. Matter of fact, all week until I meet you again next Sunday. Have a great night and a fantastic week. Be blessed and be a blessing. Bye.